Through you, I can do anything. I can do all things. 'Cause it's you who gives me strength. Nothing is impossible. Through you, blind eyes are open. Strongholds are broken. I am living by faith. Nothing is impossible. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you. And you are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. And you are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are here, turning lives around. I worship you. I worship you. You are here and you're healing every heart. I worship you, yeah. I worship you. And you are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. And you are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. And that is who you are. Yeah, that is who you are. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop. Jesus, you are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. I know you are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. And that is who you are. That is who you are. Jesus, that is who you
Oh, hey guys, Checkers here, and we're continuing our series on friendships. And today we're talking about how friends can encourage each other, and there's so many ways that we can encourage each other. You can tell your friend what they're good at. You can say well done when they do something nice. If they're scared, you can say you can do it. I know it's in you. I know you can overcome, and you can do this. There's so many ways that you can encourage, and encourage just means putting courage into someone, and you do that with your words. And another way that you can bring encouragement or put courage in people is through the simple gift of prophecy. And basically prophecy is sharing God's voice to encourage someone else. And I thought I would listen to God and share what I believe God is saying for you today And this is what I came up with. Are you ready? Cool, cool. Well, I had a picture of a circus, and there was a trapeze, which is like a little piece of rope that goes from one end of a room to the other. And it was really high in the sky, like 20, 30 meters high in the sky. And there was a man walking across that rope, and he didn't have anything on, so he felt that if he fell, he didn't have any harness or anything. So he thought if he fell, he's going to really hurt himself. So he was going really slowly, and he was trying to get to the other side, and he was really, really scared. And then he got about halfway, and he looked down, and he wobbled from side to side, and he fell, and he thought, oh no, I'm going to hurt myself. And he fell, and he fell, and he fell, but he landed in a safety net, and he was relieved, and he was okay. And then he went up again, and he thought, well, if I fall, it's okay, so I'll give it a go. And he had courage inside him, and he kept trying to get to the other side until he got there. And I just want to encourage you, kids, that if you're doing something that scares you, if going to school scares you at the moment, if you're having to do a talk in class, or you have to try something new, whatever is scaring you, I want to encourage you that Jesus is with you, so you can have the courage to keep trying, because he is with you, and he will catch you if you fall. So that you can have courage to continue trying until you overcome that thing that scares you. So that is my word of prophecy for you today. And that's one way that you can encourage, I can encourage a friend, by listening to God's voice and sharing what we feel God is saying for them. And certain kids, certain people have a gift in that area more than others. But what we can all do is we can all encourage our friends, so that we can put courage in them, and they can do the things that they are finding scary. So the Bible story today is about encouraging our friends. And can I encourage you to encourage your friends with your words this week and every day for the rest of your life, because encouragement is so helpful for all our friends. Is that good? Awesome. Well, I lost my nose again, so I guess I'll go and try and find it. I hope Raquel hasn't eaten it. I'll have a look later. I'll see you later. Ciao.
Since we've last seen each other. Guess we've been in lockdown for quite a long time, hey? I wonder, Nitro Kids, what is it you've missed the most during lockdown? Is it getting to go to the movies or the shopping centre? Is it getting to play basketball or footy on the weekends? Maybe it's even your teachers. I wonder what it is. You know, I've asked a lot of people that question lately, and they all seem to have the same answer. The thing they've missed the most during lockdown is their friends. Getting to see their friends. I guess our friends, they just make everything better, don't they? Our friends make us laugh. They know all our inside jokes. They lift us up when we're feeling sad, and they encourage us. Our friends just matter. And I guess in lockdown we haven't really been able to see much of our friends. But just because we can't be near our friends right now, doesn't mean we have to stop being a friend. The Bible is filled with stories of these great friendships that lasted through wars and plagues and death and all kinds of trials. Take David and Jonathan, for example. This was a friendship that was formed while David was on the run for his life. They barely got to see each other because David was always running away from King Saul. Or what about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Here were three friends that stood by each other and encouraged each other, even when they were thrown into a fiery furnace. Or what about Paul and Silas? They were thrown into prison. Gosh, the Bible is filled with stories of friendships just like ours. Maybe they didn't have to go through coronavirus or lockdown, but they certainly had their fair share of trials. You see, when God talks about friends, he says, a friend loves at all times and is there to help when there's a problem. So just because we can't be near our friends right now, doesn't mean we have to stop being a friend. God can still use us to be someone's friend. But there's one more story I want to share with you. This is of Elijah and Elisha. Now, Elijah was a prophet in the nation of Israel. That meant that God would speak to him and he would share that message with the rest of the nation. And at first, Israel really valued what Elijah had to say. But after a while, they stopped caring. They turned their backs on Elijah. The king of Israel even wanted Elijah dead. And so one day Elijah comes before God and he cries out to God in his loneliness. He says, God, I am the only one left. There are no other prophets in Israel. I'm all alone. And God heard Elijah's prayers and he brought him Elisha, a man that would become his friend and walk beside him for the rest of his life. What I love about that friendship is how it started. It simply started with Elijah telling God, I'm lonely. You see, Nitro Kids, God knows your heart and he knows exactly what you need. And God knows that right now, in lockdown, we're feeling a little lonely. But just because we can't be near our friends right now, doesn't mean we have to stop being a friend. God can still use you to be someone's Elijah, to be someone's friend, to show his love and to encourage. And so I wonder, Nitro Kids, how will you let God use you to be someone's Elijah? Maybe it's making a card for your friend. Maybe it's sending them an encouraging message. Or maybe it's just messaging them to say, hey, I'm thinking of you. But I wonder what it will be. How will you let God use you to be someone's Elijah and to be someone's friend during lockdown?
Hello, it is Jess here and I have come to bring you this month's memory verse. That's right, we've got a new memory verse this month and I'm really looking forward to seeing if you guys can remember it all off by heart and use the actions that I'm going to show you today. So let me tell you where this memory verse comes from. It comes from Proverbs chapter 17 verses 17. It says, a friend loves at all times. They are there when trouble comes. I think now we should do some actions and I'll do them first and you guys copy me. Let's do it. Alright, so for our first action, we're gonna do it on the words a friend. So you wanna picture someone there next to you. Think of maybe a friend from school, or it might be a sibling, or it might be mum and dad, and picture them right there next to you. So we're gonna go a friend. Now your turn. A friend. Next one is loves. Ready? Now you go. Loves. At all times. And we're going to make big circles. At all times. Your turn. At all times. So for the first sentence, we're going to go, a friend loves at all times. Great work. All right, for the second part, we're going to do our first handout. So they are there, and then to help. So you can pretend like someone else is helping you with a hand. They are there to help. Now your turn. They are there to help when trouble comes. So I want you to picture something troubling. So think of something that might scare you, and you have to show that you're in trouble. So you might go, trouble. So we're gonna go, they are there to help when trouble comes. Okay, now your turn. They are there to help when trouble comes. And it's from Proverbs 17 verses 17. Alright, I think you got it because we're going to do it all together now. Alright, ready? A friend loves at all times. They are there to help when trouble comes. Proverbs 17 verses 17. Alright guys, now you should practice during the week and see how you go. I'd love to see if you do it, so feel free to record yourself doing it and you can post it on Facebook or YouTube. Thanks guys, I'll see you next